Well, welcome back. I continue to discover that I'm a better pianist than camera person. The last number of recordings I made cut off major portions of either me or of the piano. So I've tried to frame more of the piano. I realize my body masks some of it, but Prokofiev writes an awful lot of high stuff. And when my arm disappears under what the lens can reach, that's not a very good demonstration other than verbally and descriptively. So I'll try my best and I'll keep having to make these alterations and see what happens. In any event, I'm roughly going to start at measure 85 where the theme, well, I am going to start at measure 85. Going back and reviewing before going on, I think would not be in my own best interest. I would love to have the time to have reviewed the whole movement and get back to it, but that's part of the problems with having limited time and extended things to do. In any event, here we are, measure 85, last movement, Prokofiev 6 Sonata, where we have B flat minor. So, not that complex, it's just, we have a sequence that we had similarly before. Or maybe I'm thinking afterwards, you know what, I'm at the point, no, the sequence in the first page. Started on E, and this one at 91 starts on, because the nature of the sequence is the same, the intervals are the same, the fact that it starts on one particular different starting note, in this case F instead of E, doesn't change the fact that almost all of it feels the same, because by your start you're already doing a familiar thing. Where it does change is at one place at the very end, where rather than going B, C sharp, D, G, the one that starts on D is still one with a third on top, and then the closing one later, has a half step in it, which is different from all the others. So, and I can do a minor. And what else do I need to know? I need my left hand. I haven't written a fingering in. So that means to me I probably used second yesterday, or whenever it was. Yeah, so getting to it. Safest to do a, I need a pencil, always. This is a terrible pencil. And this is not a bad pencil. This is a very good pencil by comparison. So, I will be on 1 and I will move to 4 on B flat. So I'm able to go 1, all will be 1. B natural, please. And stay on. And now it's a fifth down at the bottom, so. to it. It was a crescendo. So ninth. Things where Prokofiev insists on having you hold a note. Whoops, that was the first time. The first time I come down D flat, the second time I come down in C. So the accompaniment is similar, the same ninth twice, finishing on E, but instead of doing this, which modulates, he starts settling in. So I have to let go of that thumb note. Oh, E please. Close quarters. Uh-oh. I got suckered by, he's fragmenting and changing the amount of motive, the number of notes he uses. So the first one is, then it goes on finally. So. Just unpredictable enough where it's going, where it is. Go down. I think for now, at least, I'm going to just have my fifth where it was. It's going to play this B sharp. Then I can move my hand. That way, I can worry about replacing my right hand. So, let's see. So what I may have mentioned yesterday is this is the second go around of this material. And so this is the point at which I want to really have a sense that although I have nothing, it's not all sticking, it's not all memorized or whatever, but that I'm getting a strong affinity for the material. That I know how it goes more, that for sure I'm developing some fluency and ease in what I'm doing. Because if I'm teaching myself a lack of fluency or a lack of ease, I'm teaching myself a resistance that will carry through weeks or months of practicing, and that would be silly. I do recall that my teacher would demand of me that all new pieces be brought in memorized. So in a graduate school setting, that pressure cooker compression was sometimes not good, but most of the time it just forced me to make sure that sense of polish, that sense of that at least understanding of what was going into the note choices of the composer. That was an important thing to consider right from the first. I've gotten, I don't want to say lackadaisical about it, since I don't have someone looking over my shoulder all the time other than you. I let myself off the hook to a certain extent, but I recognize that often the fluency and comfort I'm looking for is a direct result of really knowing the material well. So it should, in general, be memorized or at least understood fairly soon after you start learning, so that the understanding doesn't just reside on the page. This is all about grouping. My instinct right now is to go 2, 1, 2, even though the 1 is to the left of the 2. It isn't so if I turn my hand, and it's a powerful thing to go, more powerful than going to 3, but not necessarily called for. What determines it? It has to sound good, has to feel good, it has to be dependable. If it feels good but I can't duplicate it, in other words, then it's not so good. If it doesn't sound good, it doesn't matter if I feel good. I have to both feel and sound good and be able to duplicate it. Those are, at least off the top of my head, my 3 criteria for determining whether a solution seals the deal, is something that should be made permanent. Anyway. Let me try it with 3, 2, 3. For me, having the 1 on the G and pivoting around the 1 is more powerful. It's not necessarily more convenient in placement because of the distance traveled. But I think, again, going back to the issue of marking with pencil, I can always change my mind. Yes, so... this whole issue of memory is a kind of moot in a way, because when my hands are jumping around like crazy, or when there's a really complex figuration or notation, and it's, if not impossible, more difficult to play it while staring at the music, then it forces me to notice where I'm going. Lo and behold. Then it's memorized, so... let go. Only 1 left hand note. Okay, one of those funny ones. where he has grace notes, and I choose to just have my hand over those keys. Ah, and my phone ringeth.